If you haven't been on one of these trainings, welcome. My name is Justin Taylor. I'm the Vice President of Learning and Nevada Sales for Rock Title. So we really, really appreciate you. I just want to reflect on the last year and all the support you guys have given us, whether it's a training or writing us in your contract and allowing us to service you and your clients in escrow. So we really, really appreciate you. If you haven't given us a shot yet, please write us in on your next contract. We would love to give you and your clients that celebrity treatment. rockuniversity.com, you can always go there. Tons of resources, all of our training schedule. rocktitle.com, you can look at our locations. And before I hand it over to Debbie, I just want to say thank you to you and your team for being part of our platform and our community of agents that we work with as well, and always bringing your value and everything. So we really, really appreciate you and your time and your entire team to make this happen. So
Stephanie standing by. It wouldn't happen without Stephanie.
Stephanie, we all appreciate you. And with that, let's dive in today and learn some more knowledge from Debbie.
Okay, all right, let's get this party started. Give us 1 second here, guys. So as Stephanie's bringing up the slide deck, we all hear a lot about the market ahead and everyone has opinions, but I think as we're getting closer to the end of the year, some of it's starting to become maybe a little bit more clear, where no one has a crystal ball. I mean, just look at what happened to us the year of COVID, right? In December before COVID, we would have never dreamed that would happen. So these are not my predictions. These are Goldman Sachs predictions. They're usually pretty accurate. And what they told us at the event this week is that you could expect that as we go into the first quarter of the year, things will probably be about as they are now. So in other words, not easy, right? Still challenges with inventory. So pretty much more of the same as we go into that first quarter of the year. So their point was, don't be overly optimistic that it's going to be fabulous in the new year. Instead, be realistic and say, I'm going to have to dig in, do the work, and drive through that first quarter so I can really launch my 2024. Then they felt that, they did say though, they felt that the economy was heading in the right direction. They felt that rates would begin to drop again somewhere between March and the summer. And then their predictions are, and they've said this consistently all year, that 2025 into 2026, somewhere in that, year end and beginning of 2026, we may see rates at 4.8. Now, not really thinking that they're going to go lower than that, but I'll tell you what, guys, if the rates went to 4.8 in the future, what would happen. All of these people that are sitting on the fence waiting for rates to go down, they potentially most likely would say, this is good enough. I'm ready to go, because I don't know that it's ever going to get down in my lifetime to 3%. So that's sort of the prediction. So as you think about your 2024 success blueprint, I'm so happy you're here and you're still driving hard through December. And just remember, January, get right back, hit the ground running, dive into your plan, because many, many agents will not do that. They will meander back sometime in the end of January and take it slow and get their groove, and you can be one step ahead, right? So we're going to send you the business planning packet. You will have it. Don't worry. It'll come to you. And, I was trying to think today, when was the first time I did business planning? And I remember being 18 years old, going into the real estate office, and my broker made me sit down and write down my goals. And I thought that seemed so strange. Now, I was a good student in school. I had goals to do well, but I didn't have them in writing. And he really taught me the importance of not just having them in writing, but to go back and review those goals throughout the year. So we've had the pleasure to help all of our clients get their plans ready. And I hope to convince you today And I don't think you'll need much convincing, or you wouldn't be here, but I hope to convince you that it is really important to have that written plan. So I found these cool statistics. There was a Harvard goal setting survey. Now, what happened is in 1979, they surveyed a class of Harvard MBA students, and they asked them, do you have clear written goals? So these are pretty achievement-oriented people, right? But this is what was interesting. Only 3% had written goals, 13% had unwritten goals, 84% had no goals at all, right? So then 10 years later, when they went back and revisited the group, that 3% who had their goals in writing had a higher net worth than that of the other 97% by far. They had outperformed the other 97%. In fact, the people with the written goals earned 10 times as much as all the others put together. So what do you think of goal setting now? Okay. And, I was speaking with someone this morning, and they said, my goals are no longer as much about just money. My goals are about the service I do in my life and the money I contribute to my charities. And you know what? That's all fine. So when you think of your goal setting for 2024, it should include your life and your priorities. And yet we all need to earn money, right, to do all of those great things. And I would encourage you, it should be a living, breathing document. And I think there is a tendency when you do the plan to then maybe put it away in a drawer or file it in your computer, and it just gets forgotten. So what I'm asking the forward coaching clients to do is pick a day and a time, 15 minutes, not a big deal, once a week. Maybe that's the beginning of the day on Friday. Maybe it's the beginning of the day on Monday. Maybe it's lunchtime on Wednesday. But you grab that business plan and you review it. And my broker said to me, if I don't see taco sauce and coffee spilled on this plan when I meet with you, then I'm going to know you're not looking at it, right? So don't put it away. Keep it out. And also, I think we want to be strategic based on the challenges and opportunities that the coming year will bring, right? So we want to identify and attack those segments of the market where there are the must-move prospects. I want to stick with this one for just a second. I was just speaking about this at the event yesterday. And so let's do a quick, who would those people be? And I'm not saying that you're all interested in working all of these categories, okay? I'm just saying, who are the must-move people? Well, divorce. People who file divorce, 21% will list the property in a 12-month period. Notice of default. What's very interesting about this is while the national survey said that only 0.50, so 0.5% of homeowners in the US are in default, it's actually still a pretty significant amount in a market for you to get your share. One of our clients here in Southern California, Robert Barksdale, he will earn $750,000 this year by working notice of defaults. So there is enough, right? Probate, someone died, sometimes the heirs will keep the home, not usually. They usually want to sell it. So you might start thinking expired. There's going to be more because people have these aspirational prices and they can't always get them. Canceled for sale by owners. So I would just think, who are the want to move? Who are the must move? And I want to make that part of my strategic plan for the new year. So you may not do all of them, but you may want to choose one. Now, I'm going to go back real quick. Friends and family review. So for about 5 years, I coached Farmers Insurance nationally, and they would talk to me about something they called the FFR. And I'm like, what is the FFR? and they said, friendly family review. And what they told me is that they asked each of their insurance agents that they must every year contact every policy holder and discuss their current policies and what changes might need to be made and what needs they might have. And I thought, wow, what a great service that is. And the point of the they called them the watch commanders, the heads of the insurance company, was that sure, this does help us sell more insurance, but it also helps us stay top of mind with our clients. We sometimes can find ways to save them money on their policies, reduce their deductibles. So we consider this a customer service outreach. So I'd love to encourage you, take the last month of the year, maybe it has to spill over to January, and think about every past client, every sphere that you care about, and give them a call and offer to do a friendly family review, or if you prefer, call it an annual real estate checkup. The other thing I would encourage them to do, Justin, before the year end, or certainly no later than the first week of January, is contact every single lead that you have. Get into a deep conversation about motivation. How does that tie to the market data and opportunity? And look to find legitimate ways to spark urgency. And it's not right for everyone, right? Sometimes you're going to be talking to someone and they have a condition, or due to their life circumstance, it would be a mistake for them to sell or buy now. And that's why I say legitimate, based on their circumstance. Are they just stuck on the fence? And if they just had a little more information from you on how they could make this transaction work, they might do it, right? So go through every lead. And then we're going to need to work a lot. We're going to need to work hard. We're going to need to prospect. We're going to do all those tough things in that first quarter to get the business you need. That means then you are going to have to be at your best. And I'm not going to lecture you about drinking green juice. You can drink it if you want. I don't want to. but I definitely feel it's important for each of us to find those things. Is it going to bed earlier? Is it getting some exercise? Is it just, walking around outside in the middle of the day and getting a little fresh air so you can come back and get to work? What do you need to do? Because now is the time. We're going to play full out. It's kind of like the fourth quarter in a football game, right? We're going to push hard and we're going to push into the new market ahead. So what we do now, even starting today, it's going to set the stage. And that's why, even though we're almost out of year, I would love to see you guys take a minute after our session today and just do a quick little tally. How many more days am I going to work in the month of December? And in those days, what do I want to accomplish? And I know it's flying by. What is today, the 7th or so? But odds are you still have another 10 days, maybe 12 days. Make your plan. And you should enjoy your holiday. You should have some time with your family. You should have some downtime. On the days, though, that you're going to work, really, really make them productive. And because it's hard to do the hard things, I think someone asked me the other day, what's the difference between a super achieving salesperson and an average one? And I said, well, it could be skill. Usually, though, it's that the super achiever does what's hard. They do what they want to do, what they know they should do, even when they don't feel like it. But the best way to keep yourself in that zone of keeping those commitments and being accountable is have that big why. What is that big why for you? Maybe you want to buy a new home in 2024. Maybe you want to pay off debt. Maybe you want to set up a 6-month reserve account. Maybe you worked so hard this year you didn't get a vacation and you want a fabulous summer vacation with your family. Whatever is your big why, Write it down. Think about how it will feel to have that, to accomplish that, to do that, because that's your touchstone, right? That's your anchor when you'd rather not go do the work. Okay. So then you're going to see this page in your plan, and it's a simple one. You just write down, what were my last year's results in these categories, and what's my goal for this year coming ahead. So this year meaning 2024 in these categories. Now you might get a little stuck if, for example, you say, well, I don't actually know how many hours I prospected, or I didn't actually track my listing appointments. You know what? Don't make it too hard. Just do your best guess, your best estimate that you can. But then be more specific as you set the goal for the year ahead. And I would encourage you to track these actual numbers. And I would encourage you, as you close each transaction on a Google Doc or whatever you want to use, put the source of that transaction, because it's going to be nice at the end of the quarter to go back and say, how are my efficiencies and ratios, and where did most of my deals come from? So most agents don't track their numbers, but it is really helpful if you do. Because for an example, if you looked at your listing appointments and your listings taken and said, oh, I'm at 50%, or oh, I'm at 80%. Why can't I go to 90%? What's in the way? What do I need to improve? What do I need to upgrade? Right? So please track your numbers. And you know, Justin, this sheet I think is really important because some of you have some seasonality either in your market or in your life. So if you're a working parent with small children, you may find that the summer is difficult for you, right? So you may say, hey, I've got to stack the deck in those quarters where the kids are more fully engaged in school. So just take a look at this month by month. So we're going to say, what do I want in Q1? And then if I break it down month by month, that's a little bit easier, bite-sized portion, right? Than really being hyper-focused on the entire year, right? Justin, anything you want to add so far?
Just the whole tracking thing, I think is so important. So I'm glad that this was included because so many agents don't track really any data at all for their database or anything like that. So if there's one thing that you take away from today is leverage this. I mean, she's giving us the tools right here, and take the time because it's just a game changer for your business. It's night and day.
Yeah, and this sheet is like super simple, and you all may have something better and more sophisticated that you use. So by all means, if you do, keep using it. But for those of you that don't, this is just my form that for years I would keep it on my desk every day. And just as I, went through and did my calls, I would finish my day by writing down, what did I get done? Oh, I talked to 10 people. I sent 10 emails. I sent 10 texts. I wrote 5 note cards. It was just easy for me to look at this. And you notice it says right there in the black box, 10, 10, and 10, right? That's kind of an ideal. 10 phone calls or face-to-face meetings, 10 texts, and 10 emails each day. And that's going to give you a lot of fabulous connections. Now, if you are a superhero, super achiever, what I would love to see you do is 20, 20, 20. But if you're like, wow, I'm not even doing 10 in an entire week, and you want me to do 10 a day, start this month with 5, 5, and 5, right? That's what I love about December. Gives you a chance to do a bit of a dress rehearsal. And Justin, another great thought is just if they take the packet when they get it and they print it out, do the short-term plan today, and then just commit to spending 10 or 15 minutes each day working on a piece of this package. Because really, if you sat down with the whole thing, it probably wouldn't take you more than an hour. But I know that's asking a lot at this time of year. So maybe when you have your coffee in the morning, you just work on a little piece of it, right? And so as you're thinking about the year ahead, you might have some projects. You might have some systems you need to get up and running. I think the most common that I'm hearing right now is if lower rates are in our future down the road, and the past clients in Sphere are going to unleash in a big way, I better clean up my database. I better get my people into a CRM. I better start sending some items of value, or I need to call them each and every quarter, which means I have to call 5 per day and talk to 2. So think about those projects and systems that will support the year ahead. Get as much done as you can in December, because remember, we're going to want to hit the ground running with our lead gen and our lead follow-up, right, when we get through the holiday. So Justin, I'm going to quickly click through this because these are just some resources for them, just to help you think, what am I going to do to market myself? You know, I'm not saying you're going to do all 21 of these items, but I do think it's good to have 5 to 6 lead generation levers. Past clients in Sphere, 1. Open house could be 2. If you have a geo farm, that's 3. But what are going to be your 5 to 6? And then in order of importance. And then if you want, you can take these worksheets and say, okay, how am I going to engage those people? Am I going to door knock? Am I going to mail? What am I going to do on social media? How am I going to add even more to my database and my nurture campaigns? You know, we have a client in San Diego, California. He has done community events for years, 20 years he's been in business. He had a radio show for a while. His team does lots of open houses. Everybody they meet, they bring them back, they put them in their CRM, and they nurture them. So they have their A's and B's, but then they have their C category. I don't even really know these people. They're not a buyer or seller, but we met them and they gave us permission to stay in touch. So they send their email blasts, they invite them to future events, they connect on social media, all pretty automated for that C group. No money spent, no phone calls made. But you know what? Every month they get 7 to 9 listings a month. People calling in out of that nurture category saying, I've been hearing from you forever, and now I'm ready to do something, right? So think about your marketing plan, which includes launch timelines, budgets. If you have someone on your team that's going to help you, then really think about what pieces of that project am I going to delegate to them, and what will I personally be responsible for? And then I'm a big fan of setting up a marketing calendar, even if it's on your wall. Otherwise, 2-3 months go by and you forgot to send out what you planned to send. Okay, so just a few little resources. You don't have to use them all, but it might help you, especially if you have an administrative person or some marketing support. You guys can have some good conversations. Okay. Then we go to the self-skill evaluation. There are 2 pages there for you. This is the fun stuff. This is the goodies. I love to have people that we're coaching at this time of the year do a skill evaluation, scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I am perfect, 1 being help me, right? And then I like to look at with them, and I would encourage you to do this for yourself or reach out to us for help. I would like to look at the 2 or 3 lower scoring items. And on those 2 or 3 lower scoring items, what do you need to do to get that score up? Well, I don't do a good job with my lead follow-up at all. I just forget to do it. Doesn't get in my calendar. Well, put it in your calendar. You know, is it 9 a.m. every day? Is it 30 minutes? Do you allow a Saturday morning once a month to catch up those leads? So do your skill evaluation, find your 2 or 3 weak ones, and work on it. And then this part, it's not always so fun. to look at the money, especially if we aren't happy with what we made this year. But I do find that people often don't know, what actually does it cost me to live? And what actually does it cost me to run my business? And I think that's really critical to know as you go into the new year. So figure it out. And then you can do what I call the buckets of wealth. If I'm going to earn, I'll just pick a number, 150,000 in the new year, 300,000 in the new year, whatever your number is. What is my net going to be to me before taxes and expenses? What are my business expenses going to be? What is my leftover profit? And then I love to have you spend it on paper. What am I going to do with that profit? It's human nature that when we're going along and we earn just enough to get by, just what we need, we're comfortable, right? We're not starving, our needs are met. It's kind of normal to get complacent. However, if you have those exciting things that you're planning to do with your profit, kind of tied into that big why, that might keep you from taking your foot off the gas. So, smart ways to ensure you achieve your goal: surround yourself with A-class players. Here you are today, right? You got Justin on your team. All of you guys are here together. Maybe create a vision board. It's kind of cool. If you're a super visual person, grab a poster board, some magazines, cut out photos of things that are exciting and meaningful to you, and then really work to perfect and protect your schedule. And because of the seasonality of your life, you might need to adjust that quarter by quarter. And it's always a good time to look at our habits, right? What are the bad habits we must break? New habits we must create. And remember, the small changes done over the course of the year ahead can have a big impact. And I know we don't love prospecting. We'd all be lying if we said we did. We love the result from it. It's hard work. It is time, though, to commit to dramatically increasing those conversations and keep looking for those opportunities that the changing market might be presenting to you and that you need to pivot over to. And then just accept, I got to get out of my comfort zone. We have a little magnet on our microwave that says, do one thing every day that scares you, right? I think it was Eleanor Roosevelt. So it's still a challenging cycle. But you know what? You're going to emerge from it stronger and more profitable when you do the work. And success is not always easy when you're trying to do it on your own. So find yourself some accountability partners, whether that's your friend, your office manager, your spouse. Find a strategic advisor, because sometimes we can't see the forest for the trees for ourselves. And if you've decided it's time to get a coach, we would love to talk to you about that. I would love to talk to you. You just scan that QR code, book the consult. You'll get set to talk to me, and we'll do a deeper dive into the year ahead. So, Justin, I know we threw a lot at them really quick, but I know they're super busy people. So I hope they go and create this plan and have just a fabulous holiday. Looking forward to the year ahead.
Absolutely. Really good stuff. And Debbie, your team I'll obviously get you the list of people, but we'll make sure to get the team that packet, correct?
Absolutely. Everyone will have that handled for them today.
Awesome. Cool. We'll make sure that happens. And please, 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 guys, take action. Don't just take in the information. She's given us a very simple, us as humans kind of overcomplicate things, and she's really simplified it for us. So be a strategic agent next year, plan ahead. And of course, reach out to Forward Coaching and Debbie if you want to learn more about their coaching. I will tell you, I've talked with quite a few agents here in the Phoenix, Arizona market who have taken advantage of the coaching and has seen results. So sometimes we just need that push, right? Yep. Sometimes we just need that direction and
like Stacey said,
so
kick in the pants.
Yes, exactly. Kick in the pants. Okay. Thank you so much, Debbie. Thank you, everyone. If we don't talk to you soon, happy holidays.
Bye-bye.
Take care.